Take two.
Good morning. We found a better place for internet.
Yeah. Our house is not fully equipped with internet, so we had to move, and let's see if this works.
So we just finished and had our graduation for our ladies yesterday for our 5-day Tantra course for women, and it was really quite incredible.
Yeah. How was it incredible?
Just to see the transformation from day 1 to day 5. And for me personally, then it was such a just a profound validation inside of my being to just keep showing up as yourself. And about halfway through, or on the second day, then we had our organizers reporting back that a lot of the ladies were complaining and it wasn't what they had expected and they were disappointed. And we had the full spectrum of people being overwhelmed and like, why are we doing so much yoni massage and touching each other's yonis, to wow, like this is the same content that I had in December, and like everything in between. And so Peter and I were talking to each other, and the organizers like, you have to give them what they want. And so there
even though like 90% of what we were doing was completely different. I mean, this was like literally completely different, other than the goddess puja and the yoni massage and the qigong exercises, which are like the mainstays of what we do, but everything else in between was completely different.
So it was just a reminder to us to sit down and talk about what is it that we really want to give, because it's so important in being a facilitator to be able to meet your group where they're at. And at the same time, then if you try to pander to and be a producer or a people pleaser, which is what I was for so much of my life, then they're missing out on the true essence of you. And so even with Peter's help and both of us helping each other, and it's like, we're just going to show up as us. And that's really all we have to do is offer, is read the energy of the room. And so we made some minor adjustments. And so we helped bring the spectrum together so that we could make a cohesiveness with the group. But we really just kept coming back to, where's our heart? And what are the pieces that we're really wanting to offer to these women in what they're asking for? Like, where can we be our authentic selves? And so there was just all these moments of dancing and bringing the energy up and just super authenticity. And like, they all wanted to know, what's Tantra, what's Tantra, what's Tantra? And so every day then we had these different aspects of getting to feel into, here's one definition of Tantra. Now, how does that feel in your body? And how can you experience that? And it's not about doing Tantra, it's about really living it. And so yesterday, as we had our closing circle and our wrap up, then it was, the women didn't want to stop talking. And like, they were, no, we want to offer our feedback back to you. And so there was this amazement of, wow, we didn't know that Tantra teachers could look the way that you look. We didn't know that you could actually gain so much from someone. And like they said, that they could see innocence in our eyes, and just the way that we live gave them hope in being able to start living their life more free, and that they never had the allowance. And so at the beginning, they wanted all the context. Like, they wanted us to give them the answer. And so they were upset because they had all this freedom to be able to start exploring their own answers. And by the last day, then they were just so excited. And they're like, wow, we didn't even know that there was this stuff inside of us. Mm-hmm.
What was interesting to me on this group was how divided they were. Like, and there was even some tension in the group where a couple of the participants were really kind of sparring with each other energetically, and
between experiential and intellectual,
and verbally. I mean, they were literally kind of going back and forth in some of the discussions in the room of really kind of poking at each other. And Monique and I were like, whoa, this is much different than a lot of our other events where people usually get along fairly well, and there's not a lot of strife, and there's not a lot of discord, and there was a little bit of tension. So I think we were a little bit kind of like, wow, okay, this is a much different group than what we've normally had, and we had to make some adjustments. And by the last day, I feel like everyone came through as a cohesive group and was very much in love with each other and with the teaching.
And instead of wanting us to give them the answer, then they started discovering their own answers. And like later on this year, then our organizer wants to bring us back to do a training to teach the women how to teach other women Tantra. And so at the beginning, they're all, we're not ready, we can't hold that space. And by the end, then they're like, wow, when do we get to teach? Like, there's something we have to offer. And so there's still this gentle humbleness, but it just, what I want to offer each of you is that I can tell you on that third day, I was crying. Like, there was still a piece of me. Like, I was able to hear the feedback from everyone, but when we came back to our room with just Peter there with me.
And we're back. That was a commercial break. Go ahead.
So we had this amazing moment where I went back to the room and I'd held all the space and held all this feedback and even reminding Peter, like, don't take it personally. Like, they're just offering us data points as to how we can offer them more guidance. And after we'd received so much feedback and I'm like, but I'm giving them all that I have to give them, then it was Peter that held me while I cried and just said, no, like, tomorrow morning, wake up and offer them your greatest passion. Like, just keep showing up and being you. And so that's what I want to offer each of you, is in those moments where you feel like, wow, I know what I can give someone and I can make them happy, or I can provide something for anyone in my life or my attendees or my clients, then feel into you and really feel what's authentic, what's true for you, what's bringing you passion. Because I recognized again and again and again, especially in this training, there's no way to make everybody happy. And so all you can do is just show up and be available and start helping them learn how to make themselves happy.
What I would like to impart is don't pander too much to your group. There's reading the energy of the room and making subtle augments and changes and little nuances that can help create more of an experience to help people get super embodied and compelled into what we're doing. But don't pander so much that you're going to change everything because, one or two people are finding it hard to follow along or are feeling like it's too much. I think you have to follow your own heart and teach what you're passionate about and go for it. So don't... So many people like, I gotta make sure everybody in the room is happy, and it's like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to make every single person that comes to your events happy. So just do what you love and be passionate about it.
But it's also finding the balance that you allow everyone in your group to be able to offer their feedbacks, and you come to the group with this intention. Because at the beginning when I started teaching, then I would come with this full, like, here's my cuddle party script, here's exactly how it's going to go, and at 7:35 this is going to happen, at 7:50 this is going to happen, and that just all goes out the window. And so, like, especially with this group, it was, okay, we have all this toolbox, so where's everybody at right now? What's going to serve you the best within this intention that we've brought you? And so even that at the end, then the women were like, wow, you were right there with us. Like, I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt like that you were able to bring the teachings to a way that I could actually hear you. So it is that balance that you're not pandering to them, but you're also not ignoring them and trying to force your own agenda. It's bringing your passions in this big, huge, wide toolbox that then you can serve your audience and serve the people that you're with while you're still staying true to your center.
Yeah. It's finding that balance, and only you can do that. So be the scientist and explore.
And it's really fun to keep bringing new stuff in too. So can I tell them on the video what you did?
What about what?
That night, the night class we did.
No, I don't want you to tell them. No.
Well, Peter's doing new things, and each day and every week and every month, then we're both talking to one another about what is the newest thing that we want to bring to the table, and what are the pieces that we can offer one another and that we can offer our groups. And so that's another way that you can inspire yourself or other beloveds in your life, is like sit and journal. What is it that you're holding back from the world? What are the pieces that are burning up inside of you that want to be expressed, but you're afraid that you're not ready, you're afraid that you're not going to do it right, you don't know if there's an audience for it, and then start creating the field and the aspects and the pieces that you want to offer. And it's great if you have a partner or other people in your life that can really cheerlead you on, and then go offer it, because there will be some people that show up. Because then, more than anything, it's not dependent on who will show up. It's that you're offering your newest things, so you can always be excited about the teachings and the offerings and the in-service that you're giving.
All right, so I'm hungry, so we're gonna go. But thanks for tuning in, Joy, Phoenix. So good to see you. Thanks for chiming in, and
Sandy, we'll see you very soon in Australia.
yeah, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.